morning, and welcome to this week's edition of Marquette in Motion. We're your hosts, Miranda Peters
and Hallie Kilberg. On today's show, we'll be informing you on the Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery Tests,
telling you all about Operation New View,
answering more advice-related questions, and you ask, we answer,
giving you all the sports and updates,
and interviewing Marquette's third-grade teacher and dance coach, Mrs. Meetinger.
But before we dive into all that, we'd like to reflect on a very infamous anniversary coming up next week, the attack of Pearl Harbor.
The strike happened 75 years ago on December 7th, 1941, when the Japanese bombed the American harbor on Hawaii territory.
The attack sank or beached a total of 12 ships and damaged 9 more. Also, 160 aircrafts were destroyed and 150 others were damaged.
The main objective of the Japanese with the attack was to bomb the United States aircraft carriers, which are long ships that carry many airplanes with other aircraft, which were luckily not at the base at the time.
And all but 2 of the battleships were repaired and returned to active duty.
This bombing impacted America so much not only because it took troops of Pearl Harbor by surprise, but it was also the attack that launched us into World War II.
During this fateful day, many people were killed or injured.
Also, this bombing caused the U.S. to declare war on Japan, and our armed men and women of the military bravely took action.
Thank you to all our vets who, throughout our nation's history, have put their lives on the line to keep America out of harm's way. You are much appreciated. Here to tell us more about battery tests named for the armed services is Katherine Heimbuck.
On December 6th, the sophomores and juniors at Marquette Catholic will be taking the ASVAB test. The ASVAB test stands for Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery. The ASVAB test is a multiple aptitude battery that measures developed abilities and helps predict future academic and occupational success in the military. It is administered annually to more than 1 million military applicants, high school and post-secondary students. And Marquette's 10th and 11th grade students will be taking this test on December 6th from 8 a.m. to 11:45 a.m. This test may possibly get more students interested in joining the armed services. Because this test also includes a survey, it allows students to find out possible careers that they may be most compatible with, and then explore those career options. The official site is official-asvab.com if you want to check things out. This has been Katherine Heimbuck for Marquette in Motion. Stay tuned. More Marquette in Motion on the way.
Welcome back to Marquette in Motion. Here to tell us more about Operation New View is Justina Denlinger.
Operation New View is a program which provides holiday gifts and basic needs for the less fortunate families of Jackson County. Marquette's Honor Society makes it part of its mission to support organizations like Operation New View. Each year, late in November, the Honor Society sends a letter to each Marquette family describing Operation New View and what items the project is in need of. Also sent with the letter is a paper ornament that the family may decorate and return to hang on the tree in the high school entryway. If you are able to help, some items needed by Operation New View this year include new underwear, socks, hats, mittens, and scarves. Also requested are items like snow pants, boots, and toys, or necessities like blankets, pillowcases, school supplies, and personal care items. Families are asked to bring their donations by December 19th, and Honor Society members will then deliver them to the Operation New View location in Maquoketa. These donations are then supplied to those in need. Remember, if you are able to contribute, the Honor Society would like the gift or gifts to be under the tree by Monday, December 19th. And don't forget, the gift or gifts need to be unwrapped. Speaking of wrapping things, I better wrap up this segment. For Marquette in Motion, this has been Justina Denlinger.
Thanks, Justina. Now, let's unwrap a little great advice. Here to make us all a little wiser is Sam Peters, and you ask, we answer. Are you ready?
I guess so.
Okay, the first question is, I have a big presentation coming up in class, and I'm really nervous. What do you do, or what's the best way to calm nerves?
I don't really know. I really don't get nervous a whole lot in presentations, because I guess I'm used to presenting, but for people who do get nervous, I think the best thing to do is practice, and try to get it so you don't have to use note cards in class, and you don't have to refer down to them when you're presenting.
The second question is, I have 3 siblings, and they annoy me a lot. What do you think is the best thing to do when it comes to your siblings pushing your buttons?
Well, I think a little bit of sibling fun every now and then isn't all that bad. But if they're really getting annoying, you can try talking to them or telling them to stop. But always just be understanding and don't get really mad.
Okay, let's move on. And the last question is, when I have downtime or my time to recoup, I just get bored. What do you think is the best way to make the most out of relaxing time?
Well, if you have the time strictly for relaxing, then the best way is to just clear your mind, take a nap, maybe read a book. But if you really have bored time where you don't know what to do, it's always fun to find a new hobby and explore that.
Thanks for the great advice, Sam. Stay tuned. Marquette in Motion will be back after these messages.
Welcome back to Marquette in Motion. Here again are Sam Peters and Jonathan Herrick, this time with sports and updates. Take it away, guys.
Thanks, Hallie. This past Thursday, Marquette's JV and varsity girls teams played Waller at home in the MEC. Both teams were able to get a win, with the varsity breaking away from Waller in the fourth quarter in what was a close game and winning 52-43. The girls' team as well as the boys' teams also played against Midland yesterday. We will have those results here for you next week. This coming week is full of basketball games, starting with another quad against the teams of Durant at home. Come down and show your support for Marquette basketball. The annual butter braid sales are now open. Call the school office at 563-872-3356 for a chance to get your tasty pastries.
Thanks, John. Marquette's Quiz Bowl team competed at the Clinton Community College Annual Invitational, where they came home with a third-place trophy, losing in the semifinals in double overtime. Their next meet will be at the Prince of Peace Invitational, held in 2017. And don't forget, Marquette's Christmas concerts are almost here. The preschool through 5th grade concert will be held on December 13th at 6:30 in the MEC. And the 6 through 12 concert will be held on December 14th at 6:30. For Marquette Motion, this has been Sam Peters
And Jonathan Herrick
with your Marquette Sports and Updates report.
Thanks, guys. Here now are Kelsey Gerlach and Brooklyn Moore interviewing Mrs. Meetinger.
Hello, everyone. I'm Brooklyn Moore,
And I'm Kelsey Gerlach.
and today we'll be interviewing Mrs. Meetinger.
So, Mrs. Meetinger, for those who don't know, what is your position here at Marquette Catholic?
I'm the third grade teacher here at Marquette Catholic, and I also coach the dance team.
What are some interesting things going on in the third grade?
Currently, we just finished up working on 2 writing assignments, which were really fun. The first one we were working on for the Christmas edition of the newspaper, and it was about what the Christmas season means to the third graders. And we also recently celebrated the Catholic School's Principal Day, and the third graders wrote about what they thought Mr. Kaiser did every day, a real version and a made-up version. It was really fun.
Is it true that you have a master's degree?
Yeah, this summer I actually just finished up my last classes at Clark for my master's in educational leadership.
Why did you decide to continue on with your education?
I feel that learning is so important at any age. I think it's important to be a good role model for my students so that they can see me as a lifelong learner. And as fast as things change in education, I think it's important to stay current on the best practices to help our students.
So, in college, what was your favorite class you took?
I'm trying to think of my favorite class, but the one that popped into my head first was brain-based learning, mainly because the professor was really knowledgeable and I learned a lot about how the brain works, how the brain is set up, and why we do what we do.
You mentioned you're the dance coach. So, the dance season kicked off November 22nd at the MEC. How did it go?
I thought it went really well. This year I have 6 dancers again, and a couple of them have never done dance before, and so they got a great first performance under their belts, and we're ready to go on for some other great routines this year.
That's good.
So, what are the dancers' practice schedules like right now?
Currently, we're practicing about twice a week. The practices have been a little bit shorter this year just because of the limited gym space, but they have been working hard, and we just know we have to buckle down that much faster this year.
Should we be looking forward to more dances this season?
Of course. We are currently working on the POM routine that we performed the other night. We just finished learning a kids clinic routine, which we'll be performing with about 33 K through fifth grade students on December 10th, and then they performed December 12th. We're also working on a homecoming routine we started last night with the cheerleaders, and I've got about 2 other ideas that we're working on as well.
So I know I've loved all the dances, but what one was your favorite that you ever performed?
This is another great question. As far as my favorite one, it's kind of hard to pick. I really loved our state routine last year. The girls worked so hard on that routine, and the co-ed routines are always so much fun because the guys just put in a great effort.
Last question. Did you do dance? If so, when?
Yes, I did, and actually it's kind of an interesting story. When I was in college my freshman year, I had never done any dance before, and I didn't plan on doing dance. One of the girls that I met really early on said she was going to try out. She wanted me to come with. I said, well, I'll go and I'll sit on the sidelines, and as I was sitting there, the music was fun. I love music anyway, so I got up and I tried and ended up making it. The friend, however, she did not end up trying out. She went home for the weekend. So I met a lot of great people at Mount Mercy on the dance team, and I have been doing it ever since.
That's good. Well, that concludes our interview. Thanks for letting us interview you. For Marquette Motion, this has been Brooklyn Moore
And Kelsey Gerlach.
with Tell Us More.
But
Thanks for reporting, everyone.
And thank you for tuning in. For Marquette in Motion, this has been Miranda Peters.
And Hallie Kilberg.
And remember, stay informed, stay involved, stay
In motion.